Good afternoon. It's March 18th, and one of my subscribers wanted me to make a perfect release video. Well, release is part of a bigger picture. It's part of the shot process, part of standing at the line and having a routine to follow. And the shot process includes the release and other things, okay? See, as human beings, we're not perfect. There's certain things we do, we can have certain movements, and that'll throw the arrow shot off. So I say in all my videos, try to be a shooting machine. Try to have a good stance, have a good solid anchor. Okay, keep your bow hand up and on target, and have a good, good crisp release with back tension or static with back tension. Okay, and we're going to discuss these things. Okay, but the whole goal is when you shoot, we're not perfect. We're humans. We want to emulate being a machine, being that shooting machine and getting all the shots downrange in that 10 ring, okay? So we're gonna go step by step. Reason why we're not outside was I started to do this video outside and it was like a hurricane yesterday. The camera stand kept blowing over, because we're on Long Island right off the water, and it was a nightmare. So I went out today and it's even worse, okay? So stay tuned. We'll try to give you as much information. I'll try to give you as much information as I can. I figure it's worth mentioning that, when you look at YouTube at different coaches, or you go to different archery ranges and watch coaches, you can learn a lot, good and bad, from people, but you got to see what kind of backgrounds they come from. I used to teach the junior Olympic kids. I can teach Olympic shooters how to shoot too. They have a different format than I do when it comes to shooting traditional or Barebow or hunting. All right, there's different things. A lot of the Olympic shooters, they shoot outside in the summer. They wear chest protections. They have a closed stance. I shoot with open stance. There's a lot of different things that don't apply the way I shoot, okay? I'm a hunter, I shoot 3D, cold weather, all right? If I shot the way they do, a lot of Olympic shooters and a lot of new coaches, they're taught to shoot, they're taught the archer's tee, all right? You're standing in line this way, okay? Let me see if you can see some, a little further down. The archer's tee. They come like this, bring your hand around to the corner of your mouth, you're looking down at the target. The string on the bow, okay, the string on the bow is so close to your arm. They wear arm guards, they wear chest protectors, okay? It wouldn't work for in the colder weather with 3D when you're throwing a coat. It wouldn't work if you went hunting, okay? They shoot upright. A lot of us shoot traditional bows canted, okay? They would never bend over and lean and go into the string. They pull the string back to them, upright, okay? So the way I teach is a little different. Just gonna explain it, okay? Like I said, when you watch some of these coaches try to teach traditional, some of the things, they come from an Olympic background, and it's a little different, all right? I'm not saying right, I'm not saying wrong. I'm saying look at different ways of teaching and you pick out whatever works for you, okay? So anyway, what I want to talk about first is grip. Usually we talk about your stance from the bottom up, but we're going to talk about bow grip. I know I made videos about this before, but right here in the pad of your hand, that's where you want the grip to be, right in that pad, okay? Look, see that grip right there? And then if you shoot the bow upright, because this bow happens to be cut past center, like an Olympic bow, you've got a choice. You could either shoot it with your hand, you throw your hand out naturally, and you see that angle with the knuckles? I call that a natural cant. And if you use that, you really can't, if you throw it out, you see it's the same every time. It's not like this, it's not like this. You throw it out, it's whatever it is for you, it is. So that's a good start. So this particular bow, I happen to shoot upright. So if I apply that natural cant and I put the grip in my pad, see it's against the pad here, and I close my hands, I tuck the bottom 2 fingers on and these 2 hold the bow. When I come back, okay, I'm upright, okay, I hold that bow firmly, I hold that grip firmly, okay? Now, if you want to shoot this bow that's cut past center canted, you can too. You know, that's up to you. You could shoot it either way. You could shoot a bow that's past center canted or upright. That's your choice. You have that option. You just build out the pad and rest to make it hit where you're looking. So let me show you. I'm throwing out my hand now. See that angle? Throw it out. I could shoot this canted too, okay? I'm trying to figure out where the camera is there, right? And I pull it back and I lean my face into it. You see, and my pupil is over the arrow, okay? I'm gonna grab the longbow and show you just for a second. Let me grab the longbow. Okay, I got the longbow. Okay, so now, how does the longbow work? Here's that, right? Like stop. Here's that natural cant. Throw the longbow right in that natural cant. You see that angle? Every time I throw my hand up, it's going to go to that angle. It's a good place to start. A lot of people don't consider that there actually, or they don't even think that there actually is a natural cant. You throw your hand out, that angle's there. Watch. Pull back, touch anchor. Okay, my pupil is right over the eye, okay? So, the other thing is sometimes people shoot bows that aren't even near center. You know, like a bow shooting off your hand or a self bow. And I'll show you. Let me get my self bow for a second here. Here's a self bow. And sometimes with these bows, right, here's the natural cant. I touch anchor, I have to bend at the waist to get my eye over the arrow. I have to bend a little more, all right? It makes it a little inaccurate. You gotta try and bend to the same spot every time. Okay, but I just wanted to show you that it's okay to bend at the waist. It's okay to use that natural cant. Lean into it, bend over into it. There's a lot of coaches that come from that, you know, that T, that archer's T. They've been taught that, and it don't work for our type of shooting, where you put a coat on, where you're shooting traditional, where you're shooting barebow, okay? So, just wanted to point those few things out. Let's go to the next segment. It's always something when I do these videos. I don't know what happened, but I use my iPhone to record these, and somehow I got a mirror image going on. So for this part, I corrected it, and it's important that you see my stance, how I anchor, how I shoot. So from this point on, you won't see that mirror image. But everything else I told you is solid information, and I didn't want to redo it. But now you can watch. I'm going to start with my stance, okay? I'm going to tilt this down so you can see my feet. Okay. Okay, we got the bow here. You're gonna watch me shoot in a minute. Okay. So once again, we don't wanna have our feet in line with the target because we're outside, we wear coats, we go hunting. Okay. We wanna have a little bit open stance, maybe 25 to 30 degrees. And then I'm gonna tilt it up, and hopefully you can watch my face. Okay, hopefully you can watch my release. I'm gonna try and be a shooting machine. I'm gonna keep my hand up on target. I'm gonna keep my hand against my face, elbow all the way back. I'll take 2 shots, one with static and one with back tension. Like I said, I had disc damage and nerve damage. But when I come back, elbow all the way back, no chicken wing. Okay, I'm all the way back. At this point, I'm pulled back with my tricep, and I feel here the back tension engage. And I maintain that tension. but I keep my hand against my face and I release. So we're gonna shoot with back tension, keeping my arm up. Hopefully you can watch that I don't pluck, I don't peek, I don't drop my arm. Here we go. I got the grip, shooting the bow upright with that natural cant. These 2 fingers are tucked underneath, 2 fingers holding the bow. Try to be that shooting machine. Hand up on target, hand against your face. Now I'm going to shoot with back tension. And I explain back tension to you. Back tension is that, one more time, I'm just going to say it again, is that 30-degree, once you're up and you feel engage the back, you can't pull back anymore. The only way you can activate that back tension is that 30-degree downward wrap around of your elbow. That's the only way it works. And I don't know if I said this in the other video, but because of the mirror image problem, I'll do it one more time. You know, if you were outside and you were working and your arms a little achy and you wanted to stretch and you went, a downward stretch, that's back tension. And you see some of these coaches teach, and some of the organizations tell us to teach with a big follow through, right? They want you to go back, have them release and come back and touch your arm, which as you get older and you have problems, you can't do that anyway. But truthfully, you come back an inch after you release with back tension and that arrow is gone. And like I always tell everybody, for every action is an opposite and equal reaction. It's the 3rd law of motion, okay? So when you're all the way back and you engage that back tension, okay, and you release, as you come back and release, your bow is in line with the target. This arm here is in line with the arrow, everything's in line, and as you come back, everything's straight. That string will go forward with very little oscillation, okay, when everything's aligned, okay? So let's do that, back tension now. See how I came back? See how far I come back? That's all I come back. See the bow hands up on target still? Okay, that's back tension, okay? I'm gonna stop this here and we'll go to the next segment. Okay, earlier you might have saw I had on this bow, this thing. And you're saying, what the heck does he got on the end of the bow? It's a laser. It's a laser on a little stabilizer, blank stabilizer that I made, okay? And well, when you shoot, you know, it's really no good to telegraph your movements, because even when you have good form and you do everything correctly, when you release, it's kind of a violent thing. The string transferring energy to the arrow and releasing, it kind of shakes. You really can't get a good take on everything. But you can see it on the target, right? When you come off your face with the string, when you pluck, the arrow goes to the left because it creates oscillation. So if you're right-handed and the arrows ever impact to the left, okay, if you've been shooting, I'll say if you've been shooting on, and every once in a while you get an arrow goes to the left, it's a pluck. Your hand came off your face. Now, I always tell everybody, remember how I showed you how I shoot with that loose grip, okay? And I tell you, if you shoot with shoot loose grip, have a finger sling. This is, a lot of guys shoot loose grip and no finger sling, and this is what they do. I'll show you. They don't want to drop the bow, right? They got a loose grip. They'll let him go with his bow. Like I said, it has a reaction. The string's letting go, transferring energy to the arrow, flying down to the target, and you don't want to drop that bow. So watch what happens when I squeeze my hand to grab the bow. You see that? I grab it, and it goes to the right. It jumps off the target, okay? It jumps right off. So guarantee, if you're on, and every once in a while you get an arrow goes to the right, listen to me. I'm telling you, you're gripping the bow. If it's to the right, it's a bow grip thing. It's a grip thing. What I do is I tell people is when you come back, you keep your hand loose. All right. I don't like fingers. You never put your fingers out in front when you draw them back. Always keep them around a little bit. You keep them loose and let the pressure go on that pad. Okay. It's going in line with that pad. Okay. And once it's in line with that pad, you come back, and once you're at full draw, elbow all the way back and your arms fully extended, without talking the bow, just hold it there. You see that dot didn't move, and I'm holding the bow solid there. Okay? And that'll keep your arrows true on target. So for the good release, like the fellow wanted me to do a thing on a perfect release, it's stance, and it's a shot process. Part of it is that bow hand. Okay? Keep the bow hand up and hold it on target. Or if you're going to have a loose grip, you have to have, if you're going to have a loose grip, you have to have a finger sling. Look, you see the cat? Look. See the cat chasing? That's Shadow. Shadow's on all my videos, look. Okay, enough playing with you. I got a video to do here. So anyway, so that's my friend Shadow. She always gets in there. So that's the deal with the grip. You know, you come off your face, okay? The string oscillates, the arrow impacts to the left, okay? Okay? If you pull back and you have a loose grip and you do not use a finger sling and you keep that grip loose, what happens? You don't want the bow to drop and you're going to grab it, okay? So the arrow is going to go to the right. The other thing that a lot of people don't mention is your wrist. Okay, every once in a while you have one flying high, and when somebody's back and they release and they don't keep their wrist in line, maybe they heel it. Okay, to break the wrist a little, it goes up. You might have a fly high. What happened? All right, and you just was pushing, and when you let go, your wrist came up, okay? So you try to be a shooting machine. No peeking, no plucking, no dropping your arm, okay? Let me take this off, and we're going to do it. I'm going to take one more shot just to show a good clean release. So hopefully you can watch my release, okay? I'm standing at my 25 degrees. This bow I'm shooting upright, so I got that natural cant and my two fingers tucked in. I'm going to come back to my anchor. And remember, for the good clean release, when you come back, you either got to touch, you have to touch a repeatable anchor. So a lot of times, if you come back, I touch the corner of my mouth, okay? Which maybe isn't the greatest, but I keep my mouth shut and it goes right there. I can feel the back of my jaw, all right? And it's solid for me. A better anchor would be the top of your head, your top tooth. You come back to a top tooth. Because no matter what, look, I'm here, I'm talking, see my jaw moving, my mouth going. If I pick a top tooth, it's solid, right? If I pick something on the bottom of my jaw, maybe to get more trajectory, you better keep your mouth shut. Otherwise, that little bit of movement downrange makes a big difference, okay? So, a couple of things. You wanted me to talk about the grip. So, you have to have, besides the stance, besides the grip, you wanted to know about a good clean release, okay? So, the other thing is, how do you release? When you're back there, what do? You know, a lot of people pluck. You have to maintain pressure on your face. When you come back, and I use static, you see this top ridge of my hand? My elbow's all the way back. This top ridge is kind of laying like this against my face, okay? I pull the string back, I'm leaning into it a little bit, top finger to the corner of my mouth, right? And when I release, I just kind of open my fingers and let the string rip out. But this top edge is glued to my face. See? I just flick it, okay? I kind of let the string pull on its own, and I'm just like relaxing my hand and let it rip away. When you use back tension for that release, okay, you're back and you feel that You can't go any further. Now it's time for you to engage your back. Okay, as you start squeezing your back muscles, you still got to maintain that pressure on your face as you go back, and allow your fingers to, string to rip away from your fingers, but keep your hand against your face as you go back. If you watch, a good site to watch is World Archery, okay? The Olympic shooters. Even though there's different stances and different things, you watch them shoot. They keep their hand up and they have a finger sling, and you'll watch the bow jump forward and flip around, do whatever it wants, but their hand is up and on target the whole time. You can watch they do close-ups when they release, and this is what applies to everybody. I want everybody to do this part. When they release and they go back with back tension, you see their face ripple because they maintain pressure on their face. And you will never pluck if your elbow's all the way back. And once again, for every action is opposite and equal reaction. If you're in line and you're back and you release with that back tension and maintain pressure on your face as the string is ripping away from you, with everything was in alignment, it's going straight with very little oscillation because everything is in line, okay? For every, it goes forward. You're pulling back. Every action is opposite and equal reaction. You pull back, it goes forward. It's going in a straight line, okay? The other law of motion is, an object dropping. Like if you drop the marble and it's going in a straight line, it's going to follow that straight line unless it's affected by another force, okay? Wind, wind or anything. But when it comes to the actual release part that we're talking about, okay, if you plucked, all right, that straight line's broken now. It came off your face, okay? And if you drop your arm, that straight line's broken, okay? If you grip the bow and the handle, that line's broken, okay? So the forces that change that straight line, that arrow from hitting the 10 ring, is you. It's these little things, little quirks that we do. So, okay, so no peeking. Don't drop your arm. Keep your arm up. Okay. No plucking. Don't come off your face. Okay. No peeking, no plucking, no dropping your arm. Sometimes the bow is heavy or you tie it at the end of the tournament. You start shooting low. Be strong for 2 minutes. Actually when you're online, a couple of seconds, you're up at full draw. Make sure you're strong. Even put on your I used to tell little kids, put on your mean face. Be strong for those 2 seconds. And then you release, and once the arrow hits the target, you could drop your arm, okay? So that really covers it all. I'm going to shoot a couple times. You can watch me. But that's it. That covers the release. Let the string rip it away from your face. Keep it against your face. You buy yourself one of these little camera stands that I got for $25. Put your iPhone on it or your phone, whatever you got there, record it and play it back and watch yourself. Make sure that you're doing all these things right. Try to be a shooting machine, okay? Let's see, watch me. Stance, okay? I got that. Remember, the grip's important, okay? See how I got the grip? Touch and anchor. See, I keep the bow hand up on target, my hand's against my face, okay? Try to be that shooting machine. Trust your shot. I want you to trust your shot to the point where you can say in my mind, it's gonna hit the target. It's gonna hit the target. I'm doing everything right. There's no need for me to watch the arrow. I put the point on there and I let go, and that's where it's gonna go, okay? So trust your shot, no peeking, no plucking, no dropping your arm, trust your shot. Be a shooting machine. The other thing, I taught a couple of women how to shoot, and to get across that they had to be the same way once they release as until the arrow hits the target is, I used to say, if you look and you see some of the pictures of the Olympic archers, they have a lot of pictures of Olympic artists, not too much trad archers, but the Olympic archers, when you see them shoot, they're like this, just like this. The string is down here, their hands against their face back from the back tension, and you see the arrow in flight. The arrow's in flight in front of the bow, okay? So I says, I want you to pose like you're posing for a picture. Pose for that picture, and don't move until you hear the arrow hit the target. Pretend somebody's taking a picture of you, all right? You're gonna go on the cover of a magazine. So that's it. That covers my perfect release video, which perfect release is tough, but you know, you want that perfect format. You know what I mean? You want to be able to you want to think about that shot process. You know, you want to think about your routine, okay? And it'll all come together. Follow these little tips I gave you, okay? And watch my other videos on Barebow Joe. Like and subscribe. I just want to give a little shout out to the two clubs on Long Island. One is Pinewood Arches, okay? They have 3D shoots open to the public, and they have a range. And then there's Peconic River Sportsman's Club, beautiful club. And they have a lot of events, 3D events that are open to the public. And there's great people running these two organizations. They're really great clubs, okay? And if you're out on Long Island, you know, look them up. Perhaps there's a shoot. And because we're on the water, maybe you can make a day of it, go shooting, go fishing, you know, hook up with a charter boat. And that's all. Just wanted to give a shout out to the clubs, all right? Because they do a lot of hard work. They deserve mentioning, okay? Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps, okay? Like I said, you watch other instructors, you know, mine, everybody else's. You find out what works for you, okay? Maybe you pick one or two things from me. Maybe you pick one or two things from somebody else. And you have your own form, your own thing that works for you, okay? So have a nice day. Every day you wake up is a good day, okay? Enjoy life. Thanks for watching.